when you get up in the morning, get up, have a good attitude.
Mm,
You can get up in the morning, particularly when you're at this age, and say, "Boy, I really feel pretty lousy," and you might have the rest of the day that you feel lousy, and I'm not into that. I get up in the morning and say, "This is going to be a good day. The Lord woke me up one more day. I'm going to make it a good day."
all right, Carol White here with Bill Shear and the Stories Project. So we're going to learn a little bit about Bill today. I've been so fortunate to find out, though, that you already like your cocktails out on the
Yes, I
deck.
love cocktails.
Yeah, and your favorite is?
Brandy old fashioned
And sweet, I remember.
and sweet.
And sweet. And also, we were just talking about your friend, Lori,
Yeah.
who just came over the other night. Tell me a little bit about Lori.
Well, Lori's a friend that I met her about roughly 33 years ago. She was my aerobic instructor when I got out of working for Marshall Erdman. Uh, my daughter Nancy convinced me that I should take aerobics and go to the gym, and so I started. And Lori happened to be my gym instructor.
And she's now turned into your adopted daughter?
Kind of, yeah.
That's
She's
wonderful.
my best friend.
That's so sweet. And you said you have her over for dinner at least once a month?
Once a month, yeah.
That's so wonderful. And now you've been living here, you said,
10 years.
and before that, you were,
104th and Ruby. Lived there for 44 years.
and you said that's how far from here?
That's about a mile and a half from here.
So you know the area really well.
I know the area real well.
So we're going to go way back in time. I know Tom probably knows some of this. I don't. So were you born in the Milwaukee area?
Yes.
Okay. And grew up where?
35th and North Avenue.
Okay.
My home was 2145 North 92nd Street, Milwaukee,
Wow. And where'd you go to school?
Washington High.
My mom went to Washington High, but she would have been 10 years older than you, so I don't think you would have known her.
I don't think so.
So what'd you do when you got out of high school?
I was drafted in the Army.
Okay.
Spent 2 years in the Army, came out of the Army, then went to University of Wisconsin.
Ah,
Got my degree there, and 4 years later,
and what'd you get your degree in?
light building.
Oh, so what would that be equivalent to today?
Equivalent would be like a project manager.
Okay. And then what'd you do from there?
I went in business for myself, and that lasted for about 10, 15 years. And then we dissolved the company, and I went to work for Marshall Erdman out of Madison.
So let's go back. So you started your own company, so you were an entrepreneur.
I was,
You were an entrepreneur.
I guess,
And what was your company?
Sheer Home Builders.
So you built homes.
Yes,
Okay. And was that in the Milwaukee area?
we used the motto sheer plan, sheer built to sheer perfection.
Okay, do that again.
Sheer plan, sheer built to sheer perfection.
I love it. That would have been a catchy advertising
It
slogan.
was nice. We advertised in the paper with that.
In the Milwaukee area then?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah, I've been in Milwaukee all my life other than the Army.
So how many years again did you have your own company?
I'm going to say 20.
Okay. And okay, I'll go backwards. So how many kids were in your family growing up?
4.
And
Or are you talking about my family with my mother?
your family when you were a little kid.
I had 4 brothers and 1 sister.
And where did you fall in that mix? How old were
I
you?
was the baby,
You were the baby.
and all my siblings now have passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It happens.
So it does. So I was a baby as well. So was being the baby good experience?
Oh yeah, everybody kowtowed to me.
I love it. So everybody, did they stay in the Milwaukee area as well?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
And so can we go back to the Army for just a little bit?
sure.
Where were you in the Army?
Fort Bragg, North Carolina,
Okay. And what did you do?
field artillery.
So, okay, I'm fascinated by people who served in the military. So first, thank you so much for your service to our
Oh, you're
country.
welcome.
So what did field artillery, what did you do?
I was a field observer.
Okay.
He went out in the field, and we would sight in where they would be shooting the cannon.
Oh, cannon.
Cannon
That doesn't sound very precise. So you were in the military then for 2 years?
for 2 years. Yeah,
Okay. And then you got out and you went to, oh,
I went overseas for I think 1 year.
where were you overseas?
Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, Germany, France, Czechoslovakia, all over the place.
All of that in just 1 year?
Yes. Well, it probably was a little. I went overseas right after basic training,
Okay. So,
so probably 16 months.
so your field artillery work was overseas?
Yes.
Okay. I'm fascinated by that. So where was your favorite place that you were in? What country?
Germany. Germany and France, I would think, because when we went through France, we visited these huge caverns where they stored the wine. They had these wine casks that were like, oh my gosh, they were probably 40, 50 feet tall, just filled with wine.
Really?
Yeah, that was fascinating.
Okay, so that was in France.
That was in France.
Okay, and what did you like about Germany?
It's just a country, the people, I thought they were fascinating.
Wonderful. And then you came back to the States.
Came back to the States, went to college,
Okay.
got my
And-
degree 4 years later, and then went in business for myself.
And where did your lovely wife come into play?
She was a blind date.
Tell me about it.
I don't remember much about it. This was after the army, and you know how you just get together. And my brother said, "How would you like a date?" And I said, "Fine." So he set up a date. This was a friend of his wife.
Okay.
So and this was Lorene's friend. And we just got together, and a year later we got married.
Oh my gosh, a year later. So what was your first blind date? Do you remember what you did?
Yes, we went on a picnic. It was kind of a picnic late at night.
A nighttime picnic?
Yes. Isn't that romantic?
It is. So can you tell me any more about that night? That first date?
Well, we got along fine. And after that, we just started dating. So,
Oh, how sweet. And then you were married a year later.
yep.
And were you in college at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And-
So we went to college, had a baby. Probably, well, I always say the only reason she got married was to have kids. She loved kids. It had nothing to do with me. It was
Oh,
just
it
she
had a
loved
lot
kids.
to do with you, I am sure. So were you still in school then when you had your first child?
Yes.
Oh, that must have been tough.
It was tough, but I had the GI Bill of Rights, so
Oh, okay.
that made a difference.
And where were you living at the time?
Other than when I was out in Madison, we lived with her mother.
Okay.
That was on 69th and Center.
Wow. Okay.
So that was kind of nice
So
because
you had your
we
first.
didn't have to pay rent.
So you had your first baby. You were still in school.
Yep.
And then second child came around when?
Oh my gosh, 2 years later.
So you're still in school?
Yes. It was exciting times.
And so were you still then living with her mom then when you had the two little ones?
Yes.
That must have been wonderful to have that support though to help with the two
Oh yeah,
little ones.
it was definitely. But I have to mention that my older brother had a construction company, and I used to work for him on weekends, which that's where I learned the mason trade. So I'm a mason by trade, actually. But my brother would pay me, I'd work like maybe 10 hours on Saturday, 10 hours on Sunday, and he would pay me, and if I needed more money, he would just give me the money, whatever I needed to live on. He never kept track of it. He just paid me when you can. And he's the first person I paid off after I got a job when I got out of school. It was very nice because he did not keep track. He had no clue as to how much I owed him. I
You
kept track of it. I'm a nut that way. I keep track of everything.
So did he work with you in the business then when you started your business in construction?
No.
Okay.
I started out as a mason contractor.
Okay. And then when you started your own business, so college, 2 kids so far. Then when you graduated, did you still only have 2 or was the third one with you by then?
No, just 2.
Okay. So you graduated from college and then did you move back to the Milwaukee area then?
I was still in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
I never actually moved out of Milwaukee. I was
Okay.
just living in Madison, like in student dorms.
You were married, lived in Madison, and
But that was just me. My wife stayed here.
so how'd you have 2 kids?
I came home on weekends.
That must have been hard for her though, having you that far away.
I guess you just manage.
Yeah, you do, I guess.
You do what has to be done.
Okay, so you graduated from school, moved back to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
All right. And then did you still continue to live with your mother-in-law for a while?
No, we moved into, I helped one of my brothers. He had a house, and I helped him finish off the upstairs. He got the material and I finished it off. And for finishing the I suppose you'd call it attic space, we then lived up there. We had a bathroom, a bedroom, living room, and I guess that's all we had. But it was nice. But we didn't have to pay rent because I had worked it off in working.
So it sounds like you were really close with your family with all the help that you received
Oh yeah,
from your brothers.
we were a close family.
Okay, so you're in Milwaukee, you're living upstairs in your brother's house, 2 kids.
2 kids.
All right.
Had another kid.
Had another kid. So now you're at 3 children.
Yes.
Still living in that small space upstairs.
Yes, but then we decided to build a house, and we bought a lot on 104th and Ruby. The lot was $2,000. I mean, today that wouldn't even pay the taxes for a lot.
That wouldn't pay 1 month's worth of taxes. Wow.
So the lot was a wooded lot, and that's the lot that we lived in for 43 years.
Did you build your house that you
Yes.
then? Okay.
Yeah. We used it as a model home.
Okay.
All the kids used to go
And so now you had 3 children
Uh,
at that time?
at that time, yeah.
Okay.
First of all, I have to say we moved on 76th, 75th Street. We had our first house.
Okay.
Uh, we had a house on, let's see, it was a 40-foot by 120-foot house, and we had a septic tank. And that septic tank caused my boy, we had a boy by that time, uh, it caused him to get very sick. And that's how come we bought the lot out in 104th.
Oh, okay. So was he okay though?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So then you moved to 104th,
yep.
and when you first moved there, you had 3 children?
4,
4, you had all 4 by then.
yes.
Okay.
That's the reason we moved. We needed a bigger house.
I would imagine you did.
So
So did you stop at 4?
yes,
Why?
couldn't afford it anymore.
So you were there for 44 years, you said?
44 years, yeah.
All right. So now you have your own company, construction, home building. You built your own home.
Yep.
So did your wife have a lot to do with how that house got built, how many bedrooms, the layout and all that?
Yeah. But although it was a model home, but she had input because we knew this was going to be a model home. So we put in our own ideas what we wanted.
And so did you have people then come look at that, and then that was like the template that you used for then building other
For
homes in the
building
area?
other homes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had your own company then, again, how many years?
I'm going to say 15.
Okay. And then you went to work for,
Marshall Erdman out of Madison.
okay.
And we built medical office buildings all over the country. I'd get up on Monday morning and fly out and fly to some place wherever the job was.
Wow. So that's when flying had to still be.
Oh my gosh, flying was fun.
So tell me about it.
Well, flying was so much different then. You carried your bag, you carried everything with you that you needed. You didn't have to go through security. You didn't have any of the mess that you have today. Sometimes you change flights. You could get in the airport and say, well, gee, I don't like this flight. I want to take a different flight. And you could change it within a matter of minutes. Nothing at all like today.
And let me guess, you probably wore a suit every day?
Pardon?
You wore a business suit
yes,
every
I did.
day?
Yeah,
And is that the majority of the travelers at that time then was businessmen?
yes, yeah.
Okay, so being female, I'm just going to pick on you here. So you married, you have 4 young kids at home, and you hop on a plane every week and fly away.
Yes. So my kids were brought up by my wife.
But you were home
Basically,
every weekend?
I was home every weekend.
Okay.
Every weekend, I never missed.
So where did y'all go? What, all over the country?
All over the country.
Where were a couple of your favorite places that you got a chance to
Missouri
see?
was my favorite one. I liked that. I had probably 10 jobs in Missouri.
Why Missouri? What about Missouri is wonderful?
It was just the people,
Okay.
I think.
Second favorite after Missouri?
Springfield, Missouri was my favorite.
Okay.
We built a big 4-story building there.
And this was medical buildings, you said?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And any other cities you really liked?
Really, every city I visited, I enjoyed.
Uh,
You go into a city, you know absolutely nobody, and you start out with the first thing I do when I went into a city is I'd go to the city hall, get a map, to see where I were, and then I would outline what, so I didn't get lost. I'd outline 4 major streets
Okay.
around my motel so that if I ever hit that street and I didn't know where I was, I could find out very quickly.
This is how naive I'm going to be. Were there rental cars then, or did
Oh,
you
yeah.
take? Okay, so you
Yeah.
rented cars. You'd rent a
Gee,
car.
you just make me sound like I'm 96.
No, I didn't know if it was more taxis
No, I was
or
joking.
rental or rental cars then. So you were driving in all different cities.
And I was driving in all different cities. Sometimes I would drive there. Sometimes I would not fly.
Okay.
You know, like if I had a job in Michigan, that was close enough not to fly. So I would just go around Indiana, get to Michigan, and so I had my own car.
But flying probably would have been faster, don't you think?
It would have been faster, but
Yeah.
that was not my boss's. He
Yes.
figured if you could ride, you ride. You don't fly.
And what kind of a car did you have back then?
Oh my gosh, I don't remember. Chevrolet, I think.
Okay. Are you a car guy?
What?
Were you ever a car guy?
No.
No, you had too many young kids early. You couldn't be spending your money on cars.
Right.
All right, so let's see. So you're working for Erdman. How long did you work for them?
20 years.
And
2021.
okay. And what was your official title?
Project manager.
Okay. So you're all over the place managing how they're putting together
You,
these.
you usually have, it would depend on your ability. You'd have 3, 4, 5 buildings going on at the same time. So sometimes you'd fly out on Monday, fly again on Tuesday, fly again on Wednesday, visiting jobs from one city to another.
So you have to keep all that straight.
Yes.
All right. So come home on weekends. What kind of things did you do on the weekends with your family?
Well, my wife always wanted to go out for dinner, and of course, I'm eating dinner out every night during the week. It was not my favorite pastime.
Where were some of your favorite places to go out to eat?
Fox and Hound it still is.
It is.
Most of the places were just, well, neighborhood Chinese places.
Okay.
I love Chinese food. My wife didn't like it to begin with, but she gradually became accustomed to it, and it became her favorite.
And it's amazing how we make accommodations for our love, isn't it?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So, what was your wife's name?
Doris.
Doris. Okay. And did Doris ever work? Or
Oh my gosh, yeah. She worked many, many years, right up until we had the 4 kids. Then she was full-time mom.
And
But
that's
then
work.
when the kids started college, she started work again to help pay for college.
What did she do?
She was secretary.
Okay.
She worked at Beihoff Music.
Really?
Yeah.
I played alto sax and I got my alto saxophone at Beihoff Music
No kidding.
on North Avenue.
Yeah, North 51st and North.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you remember addresses like that. Wow. So tell me a little bit more about your wife. What did she enjoy doing?
She loved to go out to eat. She, like I told you before, she really got married just to have kids. She loved kids. So she was just really a perfect mom.
Oh. And grandkids?
I have 10 grandkids, 6 great-grandchildren.
And are they all in this area?
No,
Okay.
there's some in California, some in Portland, Seattle, I think.
And are some of them around here though?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
There's quite a few around here. Julie has 2, Lucas and Susie.
And are they in this area?
They're in this area.
Okay.
And let's see, Matthew just had a little boy. He's about, I'm going to say 8 months now.
Oh,
So I have couple of nice great grandchildren here.
Oh, how sweet. Do you get to see them much?
Well, through Skype, through
Okay.
almost every day we get something from the kids.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
it's pretty nice, yeah.
Ah.
So that's why with my phone, if I ever lose my phone, I'm in trouble.
Well, and I noticed you're pretty good with the technology. You got the phone and you got the iPad.
Yep,
So,
Tom keeps me up with that.
yeah, Tom's good at that. So curious. So you're how old again?
96.
All right. What would you say is in your lifetime the like most amazing thing you've seen that's good? And then on the flip side, what do you think is like not so good that maybe happened? So like I mean technology is crazy. It's wonderful, but it's crazy what it can do. But just in that time frame, what do you think's the neatest thing that you've seen?
I think it's just technology that I can see my kids in California, I see my great grandchildren live by just sitting here. I think that's fantastic.
And they get to know their grandpa and their great
Yes,
grandpa.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the most amazing thing that's ever happened in my lifetime. Of course,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, I've lived in the golden years.
Yeah. So what are some of the favorite stories of your kids growing up?
Oh my
Crazy
gosh.
things that they did?
My son David, when he was in school, we applied for loans and we had grants and so on. And one of the first things that happened is we got the grant and the money went to my son and he didn't use it for school. He went out and bought speakers and I could have killed him. As a matter of fact, I'm not too sure I didn't.
So then he went to school anyway, though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. He
And
went to University of Wisconsin.
okay. And then he had to figure out how to make up for that money that he foolishly spent on speakers?
No,
No?
no, it just came out of Dad's pocket.
Hmm. Other kids' stories?
Oh, just usual kid stuff.
Any of them into art, into
Oh
cars,
my
into
gosh. Nancy married David Fighter, and they had 2 kids. Now, mind you, I have absolutely zero ability in arts.
okay.
Dustin and Heather Fighter, which is Nancy's name, uh, they are so talented, it's unbelievable.
So what kind of art are they into?
Oh my gosh. Uh, See that picture up on the wall there?
Yes.
That's a tree house that was built by Dustin in the California woods.
He built that?
Yes,
He has a business. Go for that.
Wow. So how old was he when he built that?
I would say 23, 24.
And so what does he do now? Does he incorporate that skill
Oh
into
yeah,
his business?
he's in. That's his business now. He builds tree houses.
Really?
Yeah, and some of the tree houses he builds, you wouldn't believe what they cost. I mean, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So these are tree houses for adults to live in beautiful
Yes.
tree houses.
Yes,
Wow. And that's out in California?
yes.
Okay. So woodworking, engineering, I can't, that is absolutely
Well,
amazing.
I got 2 other kids, so Erica and Julie, they're uh, David and Tony's kids,
Okay.
and they are very talented.
What do they do?
Well, I don't know what their work is, but they're just so talented. They make things, and I wouldn't even be able to think of the stuff that they do.
What kind of things do they make?
I mean, art stuff.
So is it painting or?
I would say painting. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really talented,
Yeah, I'm.
and they don't get any of this from me or my wife. Absolutely none. Where it came from, I don't know, but wasn't from me. It had to be from Tony.
It always amazes me how someone has the ability to visualize something and then paint it or draw it and create it. So,
Justin, from the time he was a little kid, he would go out and see somebody have something laying out in the street, and it was just junk, and he'd bring it home and make it into a masterpiece. He just has the ability of seeing what we don't see.
wow. And so so the one builds tree houses, what do the other ones do
What do you mean
for work?
for work? Well, Heather kind of works for Dustin,
Okay.
but she has other jobs besides. She's exceptionally talented with computers.
Another one of those, huh?
Yes.
Well, that comes in handy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then what about how old are your grandchildren?
The grandchildren, how old?
Ranges?
Ranges probably 40 down to 22, I would say.
Okay. And then the great grandkids?
Great grandchildren are Lucas, and I think Lucas is 11, Susie is 6, I think. And then the rest are all under 2.
So let's see. We took you from growing up in Milwaukee, a little bit about your experience in the Army.
Yep.
You're living in Madison but having 3 children in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Coming back, you started your own company,
Yep.
had your own business, built homes all over Milwaukee.
Yep.
Entrepreneur spirit there. And then traveled all over the country,
Basically, I did travel all over the country, yeah.
building medical buildings.
Yes.
All right.
What would you say to your kids?
What kind of message would you want to give to your kids?
And your grandkids?
They already do it. They work hard. They're good citizens. As a matter of fact, I would say all my kids, all my grandchildren are super people. They work their butts off. And that's the only way you can get ahead. The only thing I'd like to see more of is, and this is general, I'd like to see them get in touch with God.
I saw your Quest Study Bible over there.
Yes.
Yeah. And what kind of a message for your great grandkids?
Same thing. Work hard, love your folks, protect them, and
So let's go to God for a minute if we can, because I happen very much to believe in a God as well, and I think He wants the best for all of us, and is just. There's days we have questions and we ask lots of things, and He doesn't always decide to answer our questions right away, does He?
no, He doesn't. No. If He answers, He gives you an entirely different answer than what you were expecting.
Oh yeah, isn't that the truth? And then you say, why did I even ask? Because that wasn't
Yes.
the answer that I was
Right.
looking for. No, that's not the answer I want. Or He's going to give you the answer in His time, and not in our time. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So then I take it that all of your children were raised in the faith.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I think my oldest daughter, she's retired now, and she's the only one that she kind of works for church.
oh, what does she do?
Well, she's kind of like a social worker.
Oh, my heart goes out to her, to anybody who can do that.
Yeah,
It's got to be hard.
that is very hard, I think.
Yeah.
You listen to other people's problems.
And you're helping.
You're helping, yeah.
So, anything else you want to leave us with or share?
Those who won't know you.
When you get up in the morning, get up, have a good attitude.
Hmm.
You can get up in the morning, particularly when you're at this age, and say, boy, I really feel pretty lousy. And you might have the rest of the day that you feel lousy, and I'm not into that. I get up in the morning and say, this is going to be a good day. The Lord woke me up one more day. I'm going to make it a good day.
Okay, you know what? There's days I'm going to call you and ask you to say that to me, because I will say there's days I get up and I'm just frustrated and it's, oh,
Oh, yeah.
thank you for that spirit. Yeah. So for people who are going to see this, never have gotten an opportunity to meet you until now, so they'll have an opportunity to meet you. Any message you just want to toss out there for the masses?
Be happy on purpose.
Oh, I like that. Okay, the title of this one is Be Happy on Purpose. Oh, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it, Bill.
You're
It was
welcome.
such a pleasure getting to know you, and guess what? We're not going to be strangers anymore. We're
Good.
not. Next time you can interview me. How's that?
Okay.